These are additional problems for 7-6, making predictions. So you can use a sample to predict what an entire population is going to do by setting up a proportion to compare the two. What I will do is I'll read the problems, then you can pause it and work them out, or you can just watch me work them out and follow along. So exercise number 1, on a quiz show, a contestant correctly answered 9 out of the last 12 questions. So we want to find the probability of the contestant correctly answering the next question. Well, to predict what's going to happen on the next question, the best thing for us to do is just look at the probability of his past experience. So what's happened so far? Okay, well, so far, he has correctly answered 9 out of 12 questions. Okay, I can see immediately these are both factors of 3, so if I divide both by 3, I get 3 out of 4. So the probability of answering the next question correctly is 3/4. Okay, so number 2, suppose the contestant continues on the show and tries to correctly answer 24 questions. About how many questions would you predict the contestant would answer correctly? So if we look at his past performance, he has answered 9 out of 12 so far, and he's going to answer a total of 24. So these are the total questions answered, and the top is going to be the total number correct. Okay, well, to set up this proportion, we can see immediately we have this relationship between 12 and 24. 12 is twice, so 12 times 2 gives us 24. So to get our answer up here on how many he will probably answer correctly out of 24, we're going to double 9, and that's going to give us 18. So number 2, he should correctly answer 18 out of those 24 questions. Let's look at the next set of questions. Okay, so we have this chart here for exercises 3 through 6. We are going to predict the number of students out of 528 that would say which each of the following was their least favorite chore. So we have cleaning our room, taking out the garbage, washing dishes, walking the dog, vacuuming, or dusting. So we need to figure out how many people would say that that is their least favorite chore. There we go. So first we need to figure out how many students were surveyed. Okay, we need to know the size of our sample before we try to make any predictions. So we have 7 and 3 is 10, 5 and 5 is 10, so that makes 20. So we had 24 students surveyed. And so cleaning our room, we have 7. So for number 3, 7 out of 24 say cleaning their room is their least favorite chore. Well, how many out of 528 would say the same thing? So I don't know immediately what the relationship between 24 and 528 is, so I'm just going to divide. I'm going to do 528 divided by 24, and I get a factor of 22. Okay, so what that means is all I have to do is multiply by 22, and I get 528. So then I'm going to multiply this also by 22, and 7 times 22 gives me 154. So 154 out of 528 are going to say that cleaning their room is their least favorite chore. Okay, we can look at the next one. Okay, so what about washing dishes? Well, washing dishes, 5 out of 24 say, not so much, not for me, don't like it, don't want to do it. And our whole population is 528, So again, I multiply by 22. And 5 times 22 is equal to 110. So number 4 is 110. Okay, how about walking the dog? Well, 3 out of 24 say they don't really like walking the dog. That's their least favorite chore. So 3 out of 24 equals what over 528? We multiplied by 2 to get from 24 to 528. So then I'm going to multiply 3 by 22, and I'm going to get 66. So 66 people out of the 528 will say that they don't want to walk the dog. And last but not least is taking out the garbage. So taking out the garbage, 4 out of 24 don't want to do it. That is equal to what out of 528? Again, we multiply, our factor is 22. So our factor up here will also be 22. And that gives us 88. So 88 out of the 528 do not want to take out the garbage. Okay, let's look at another set. Okay, so right here, we're going to use this table to answer numbers 1, 2, and 3. So our table shows favorite types of movies, and our different categories are drama, foreign, comedy, and action. And question number 1 says, how many people did Jeremy use for his survey? Okay, so again, you can go ahead and pause it and work number 1 on your own, and then check it, or you can watch along with me and work them along with me. Okay, so how many did he use for his survey? All I have to do is add up the number of people here. So 12 plus 3 is 15. There's another 15, which is 30. And if I add 20 to 30, I get 50. Okay, so he used 50 people for his sample. Number 2, if Jeremy were to ask any person to name his or her favorite movie, what's the probability it would be comedy? So I need to look at the comedy row here. Okay, and it says 20 like comedy, so that would be 20 out of 50. And I can divide both by 10, and I will get 2/5. So 2/5, 2 out of 5 prefer comedy. Prefer comedy. Okay, number 3. If Jeremy were to survey 250 people, how many would name comedy? Well, okay. We already know that 2 out of 5 are going to prefer comedy. So how many out of 250 will prefer comedy? Okay. Sorry, that got messy. So how many out of 250? So to get from 5 to 250, I need to multiply by 50. Since I'm multiplying the bottom by 50, I can write an equivalent fraction or solve the proportion by multiplying the top by 50 as well. So that is 100 out of 250 will prefer comedy. I hope that those extra problems helped you out in understanding how to use proportions to make predictions in data and probability. If you have any additional questions, please come see me anytime.